All right, howdy ho, everybody. Hope everything is going all right for you today. Let me just position the mic a little bit. Sorry for that noise. Hopefully that sounds a little bit better. So, we are back in Unity today. Hopping back into some game dev. Future streams maybe coming up. I recently just decided to start learning Rust. If you haven't heard of what Rustlang is, it's a kind of low-level programming language. It's basically like a modern version for a modern language for systems programming. A lot of cool stuff you can do. It's very fast, very quick. Gives you access to some low-level concepts. We'll be learning memory management and all that type of good stuff. I am documenting my progress in a somewhat book format. This is all with the end goal of learning some firmware engineering stuff, working with microcontrollers and other embedded systems and whatnot using Rust. Maybe developing some stuff of our own. I'll be developing an open source tool for creating a sensor. Just like some cool stuff. But yeah, that is, if you're interested in that, please let me know. I'm running that on my Ubuntu boot on this workstation. So I'd have to get OBS and everything set up over there as well. But let's get back into the game dev. So what did we do yesterday? Yesterday, we jumped in. We started kind of working on the actual feel of the game a little bit. We're kind of at the stage where we can start worrying about just little small things, and then eventually we'll have to jump into something big again. But for right now, we got 2 weapons. We got our basic spatula to do as much damage. As you can see, we can still move a little bit, like so. Still debating on the speed, if we want to be able to move a little bit quicker when we're swinging. We can move while swinging as well. So if we don't hold shift while we're swinging, we're not going as fast. But maybe we'll leave that in as intended. We did some things to the zombies, made them a lot easier. Some spacing out between hits, giving them time like so. When they're, like that. Oh. Okay. So we join their attack radius, they will stop, and they'll make sure they have to attack. They have to attack if we join again to their attack radius. So we can implement kiting and such. One thing I am noticing is that it looks like his attack collider might not be disabling as quickly as we want it to. So that might be something of interest. So instead of maybe on trigger exiting, or on the state machine exit, or on the animation exit, we just enable it and then start a coroutine for how much time is doing that. We could also do, we can't edit the animations directly because they're not my animations and they were read only, so that's not too good. But you can kind of see how the zombies are a little bit easier. I mean, I also increased the health of the player to give them all 10 hearts. I think that was a little better design choice. But yeah, I think the zombies are feeling a little nicer. We can kite them a lot easier. And we also added that hit animation, so when they're hit, they'll flinch like so, and it'll stop whatever they're doing. So even if they're mid-attack, yeah, so that's where we're probably going to want to disable that collider on a timer, because he still had it enabled while we're in that attack state. So, so actually, let's see the zombies animation, because I think, no, it should be on that animation. If it repeats over and over again, it should be activating that over and over again. So when it gets to the end and it disables, it will re-enable it. So basically, when he's in the attack animation like that, when he's swiping, that collider is always on. So even if we bump into him or get close to him, even while he's not swinging, oh wow, they all 5 spawned right here. That's crazy. That means he'll damage us. So there's one thing I can immediately think of that we can. So we have to get obviously somewhat close to them when we're attacking. And see, he stops right there. So the first swing, yeah. we can kite him like so. But if he's actively attacking, he won't disable that collider until after. So like there, that could have probably killed us if we accidentally touched it. Okay, so let's go ahead and fix that. So we're gonna go into our animator. That's gonna be. Actually, let's go into our script and we'll go into the misspelt enemy attack animation. So on state enter, we're gonna actually delete this, and then we're going to create a private IEnumerator. Let's see, disable. So we're in the actual animation. So this is a state machine behavior. We have state info and animator state info and then layer index. We'll just do timed disable collider like so. We're just gonna do a yield return null for now. And then we're gonna start a coroutine right here after. I can't spell. Start co. Ooh, look at that. We need to be using system dot. I think. Let's see where we should have this somewhere. Right here. Using system select collection. Okay, we're just gonna do this bad boy. Yep, so this is not included in here. Okay, so because we're in a state machine behavior. Okay. This is not a mono behavior, unfortunately. So we're gonna need something else. Let's try 1F. So let's see if we just do time disable collider. Like so. Then I wonder if this would work. That I don't know, because we're not actually starting a coroutine, but it still is waiting for seconds. Let's do 0.5. Let's do a debug.log turned off enemy collider. Attack collider. Alright, let's see if that actually will work. I don't know if this will. We just have to make sure. If this does work, then we just have to make sure that whatever time in there is always less than the clip's length. So there we go. Zombie spawning pretty quickly. One spawning in the back. Where's the closest ones? Alright. So let's check our debug. Console. Yeah, that's never running. Reset hit. That's a weapon reset hit. Yeah, see. We haven't disabled that collider. Because we're still, when we're running into them. So. Let's see, what can we do here? Do we have access to time.delta time? Yeah, we do. Um. So what we're gonna do is just do a public void. So for I is equal to 0, I is less than allotted. It's less than, we'll do 0.5f. I plus equals time dot delta time. Float. Then we'll just what am I doing? No, see, I don't want to do a while loop though. While okay, I'll just do a variable time passed is equal to 0. 0f. While time passed is less than let's say, yeah, we'll just say 0.5f. Okay. And time pass equals time pass. So it's just a debug dot log waiting dot. And now we're going to set our animator. It's false. Last time I did this seemed to have gotten interval in seconds from the last frame to the current one. Okay. This is plus equaling, so it should always be increasing. So yeah. See what happens when we do this. I'm expecting this to just completely freeze Unity and have to restart it, which is a pain in the ass, but maybe, just maybe it will work. Okay. I don't think it ever reset. Didn't crash though. It's because I didn't save it. Obviously. That's always fun. And also, if we go into attack animation, I think we're getting a debug.log somewhere saying weapon reset hit on trigger enter reset hit. Interesting that that's happening. Maybe, yeah, this is where it is. This is gonna be melee NPC attack hitbox. Like so. Alright, so now we have our enemy attack animation saved. That should probably be changed to melee attack animation. There's a way to do it in the actual animation, to do it at a specific frame. I wonder if there's a way to do that programmatically. Waiting. Okay, so we're getting the waiting. Stop. And then bug.log re-enabled or disabled collider. It should only be for half a second. So the collider turns on for half a second, then turns off. That actually does seem to be working, which is good. How much you want to bet they're up there? Oh, they are. Okay. So now they actually probably can't do any damage to me because 0.5 is a little too quick. So how long is the... okay, so now that we know that's working, now we're going to change this time pass to a specified... we're going to do wait time. And can we do a public variable? Okay, we're going to do a wait time. Can we get... What is in the state info? State info dot current duration of the state. Okay, that's actually good. So let's pass that in there too. We're going to basically do a public var, or no, public float wait time private. And we're going to set wait time equals, not time. We're going to set that equals state info dot length minus, and we'll just do a 0.25f. Like so. Or let's see. So if we go into this animation, this is right now hard coded, but if we go into the attack animation, look at the length, 1.33. So for 1 second. So we want it disabled basically at frame 30 or at frame 15. Like so. Seems to be 15 seconds. So, we're gonna actually just do 0.15. Okay, so when we're thinking about seconds, so it's 60 seconds in a minute. So, actually, wait, no, we're doing seconds. So 1.15f. Change to animation. Change to desired animation length. To do. It's always a fun to do. Can't wait to come back and have to find that. Okay, so now what we should see. Well, actually, wait a second. %. So what we're going to do is actually going to do a state info dot length. What's normalized time? Normalized time of the state dot no. Divide by 2. So only half of the state. Let's see what happens here. Oh, wow. That's crazy. No one spawned over there. Maybe I should put a zombie in our scene just so while we're testing this. Anybody back here? Not looking like it. They're coming from the front. I gotta make sure when I'm making those levels that those doors line up correctly as well. Alright, you guys. Okay. That's very quick. Well, that, of course, is coming from over here. So if I actually go right here, I'm trying to avoid them. They can't hit me. Ah, fun, fun, fun. Alright, you come over here. Yeah, that's not working. Length not divided by 2. Let's just do length minus 0.1f. Just a little offset. Yeah. Probably not over here, is there? Oh, there's one. Look at that. Hello there, dude. It's like happening instantly. So instead of waiting right here, what we're gonna do is we're going to do a let's do a debug.log. Log wait time. Debug.log time passed. See how this is working. This might give us some understanding. So time dot delta time might be, gives it in seconds, but I'm a little curious what we're seeing there. Okay, so we're counting up. So 1.233, like that. Then within within, let's see, so it should only be, we're not, see, that's the problem, is that this doesn't actually go up by a second ever. That should have been up by a second. So this is not working as intended because we're doing this. Unity 3D, how to use time.delta time to wait for a desired amount of time. No, see, I can't do these enumerators. Just can't use recovery team. How to have a delayed function in state machine behavior. That's fun. So invoking a game object. That's crazy. You cannot simply start a coroutine, unfortunately. Yep, nothing. So, what we could actually do is just use this. We can have a public Unity action. We'll need to import that probably, right? Yep. Enemy attack animation. Well, no, we can't do this because... Alright, we're using AI because it's a tool and I want to use it. Okay, where did... Let's go. Okay, here's this, chat. How would I add a delay to disabling the collider based on halfway through the animation? Let's see what Mr. ChatGPT says and pick it apart, because I don't really care too much. Okay, so get melee zombie controller, enable true, collider disabled equals false. If not, so on state update and state info dot normalized time is greater than or equal to 0.5. Okay, so it's using, what where are we ever doing collider? Why do we need this collider disabled? Okay, so they're using state update here. So there's a good little pointer. So let's actually delete this. Oh, that's fun. Let's delete this bad boy. And we're going to simply undo this. Like so. All right, so if state info dot normalized time, that's the amount of time, is let's say state info dot length divided by 2. So then we're going to disable them like so. All right, false, and then we're going to debug.log this. Disabled enemy attack collider. Okay, like so. So if normalized time is what Mr. Chat was saying it is, which the documentation doesn't really help out too much. It just says normalized time of the state. Is that the current normalized time or whatnot? Then that is pretty nuts. So let's go in here. And I think that while loop, the reason why I was doing that is because we're not calling that time pass plus equals on every update. So what we were doing is actually could be correct, but it's actually not using a while loop. We never want to use that while loop because that's going to call faster than every frame. We're not waiting till the end of frame in that while loop. That makes a lot more sense. So if this doesn't work, then now I have an idea on basically what to do. Boom, hit disabled enemy attack collider. Okay, that's why we... Okay. Alright, that's working. Sweet. That's good. And that's why they have the disabled collider in there. And we'll just do a... And it does not. And animator.gameObject. That's crazy. Oh, that's always fun. But no, that's working. Oh. Instead of having to specify the wait time, we're just doing divided by 1 point, or divide the length of the animation divided by 2. We can always fine tune that however we see fit. We're gonna need to make sure using that type of methodology that we normalize all the melee attack animations. So now let's go over here because, well, didn't have any. So now we should see some good desired effect. And now we can run into, and the only reason you actually did do damage is because you attacked us and you hit with your collider. And we might want to make that collider a little bit smaller on the zombies. Because now that's working as intended. It's kind of hitting pretty consistently. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. So, also it is starting on start, so what we could do is instead in here, using this on state. Okay, so what we'll do is actually comment this bad boy out like so. If state info dot normalize time is greater than, okay, we want it to be, so basically what we're gonna do is less than state info dot length divided by 2, and state info dot normalized time is greater than, we'll do 0.15f. So then we'll enable it. Like so. Equals true. And not else if. So basically, if it's less than the state info, if it's less than the state info.length, and it's greater than 0.5f, we'll set this actually as a delayed start time right here, and we'll do a private vote. Delayed start time is equal to 0.15f, like so. And now, so this will enable and disable the collider. So we'll do it will enable it after 0.15 seconds in our first frame. Basically, when he starts, it should be timed to where he starts swinging. Basically, because we don't want, if he has his hand down there, the attack collider could still do damage. So for instance, we want it basically to say like only enabled whenever he's swinging like that. So if his hand barely scrapes us, it's up here like so, and it starts to go forward, that's when the damage should happen, not when his hand is rising, I guess. I don't know, just something that felt a little weird to me. So, yeah, we gotta be careful too, because if we go that way, why am I never in the lounge anymore? I was in the lounge last night, what you mean? I'm not in the lounge during these streams, though, because I gotta focus on the game. But yeah, I'll be joining the lounge later tonight. I got some more work to do, though, after this, too. Alright. That seems good to me. Alright. What's next up on the... Okay. We could shift focuses... Also, have you seen that Jack's playing World of Warcraft now, Patty? I think that shit's funny. Jack and Nate playing World of Warcraft, that's so nuts. Really? I will say I've started playing it in MMO myself. It's that one I kickstarted back in the day. It was like, it's still in alpha too. Yeah, World of Warcraft's pretty cool, but dude, the game I've been playing, it's been a lot of fun. The combat feels good, and they're just rolling out more and more updates over time. But it's down on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So actually today is the first day I get to play it after what's it called? After waiting those 2 days. I actually went out and started having I found a group of people. We started playing. We grinded for like a few hours and shit, like figuring out the game, and it was a lot of fun. And then of course the day after, we all couldn't hop on. So I'll probably be playing that later tonight as well. But I'll be in the lounge for sure. Actually, also Will's here. He's in town, so he might come over too. We'll play some co-op games or whatnot. Oh yeah. Let's see. What do I want to do now for the game? Combat feels a lot better now. Did some tweaking on that. We could do ranged weapons. That wouldn't be too bad. I know ranged weapons is going to be a pretty hard, bigger system to implement. But, you know what? Might as well do it. Fuck it. Alright, ranged weapons. This is going to be a pretty big part of the game. Let's go all the way down to here. Torso. Let's go on the player. Actually, should probably apply that. And then go into the player prefab and do all this fun stuff. Okay, so what we're going to do is actually create a asset. I have not worked on heals and med stuff yet. I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do with that. I know the functionality is already built in. All I have to do is make a heal object, and basically I need to decide if it's something the player has on or if it's something they drop. I can quite simply just if they go here, I'll show you. This is actually very easy to understand. Right here we have it on heal function. I'm gonna even just call this heal. So if we are alive, health is equal to the minimum between the max health and the health plus gain. This just makes it so we can't go over our maximum health allowed. So that's already built in. So all I need to do for that is build an object for healing. I guess that's probably a good idea to do right now. The real question is, do I put that stuff on the ground, or do I keep it in the inventory and you have to use it? I'm thinking inventory. That might be the way to do it. So what would that look like? All right, yeah, we're gonna start adding some of that to the game. So I have these fun toon shooter stuff. Actually, for healing, I think we're gonna start with a soda. And if we wanted to start with a soda, I'm pretty sure I have access to some of that. There's some glasses right here. There's a ketchup bottle. Inventory 100%. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. There's no... Because that'd be really weird to have to... Could also add some ground spawns. Yeah, I think that might be something that zombies drop and that, like, or something. The idea is, I think, for healing is going to be, like, the food you make or, like, I think there's going to be a soda fountain in which you can replenish, like, your healing objects. So that means the healing object should be... We go into here. Our soda. Look at how big that boy is. We're going to go ahead and remove your collider because we don't need that. Okay, cool. We got a soda. So, create an empty and we'll call this soda. Like so. And put that guy down here. We'll add... Oh, what's going on, Mr. Go-Go? We're going to make a health item, I guess. Health item script. And let's see. So now, actually, maybe we should work on the inventory system. We'll definitely need that script having a health item for actually interacting. I don't really know how I want to handle the inventory. Let's see how other people handle it. Unity 3D basic inventory system. Very basic inventory script. Let's see how this works. What inventory do you want to make? You can have item types, items, how many items. So we just keep it in an array. It's not actually that bad. Initialize add item, remove item, check item count. Okay. What's the best? Heck of a time with this. Using ChatGPT. I am definitely going to add Easter eggs. That's half of the fun of these type of games, finding little Easter eggs. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm a little kind of, it's not actually that complex to make an inventory system if we really want to get down to it. Because technically, right now, what we have under here is somewhat of an inventory system. This is already kind of what we have. So, weapon slot controller, we might change this to actually hotbar, and that's where we can add stuff into it. So we're gonna have at most 5 elements, I think. Let me delete that. In our weapon slot controller, we might rename that the hotbar. And in our player, let's go ahead and add a new component and call it inventory system, like so. Create an add. Okay. What I'm thinking for our inventory system is creating an inventory object. So also this guy is huge, so let's dial him down a good bit. And we need to set this guy's offset to 0, 0, 0. Set the soda to being 0, 0, 0, because we're going to make a prefab out of this, so he should be right here. Like so. A lot smaller. We got a health item attached to him. Don't need to worry about that too much. Okay. Let's go ahead. And we have our inventory system set up right here. This is a new script. Got some new scripts actually right here that we want to move, of course, because that's going to make everything reload. Go in here. We're also going to create a new C# class and call this inventory object. So we go into scripting, empty C# script. We're going to call this inventory object, like so. And inside of here, we're going, this is just a straight, just normal class. We're going to have a, this is going to be like our data class. So a public string name, public string description. We need a tie to a public game object. GL. We're going to also need a public int amounts. And we'll also do a public string type. And this is going to be, these are basically what we're going to see in, if we hover over the object, this is where we're going to read that stuff from. This game object is going to tie actually to the game object we instantiate. The amount is going to denote the amount of objects we have. So for instance, we can have more than one healing item. And we'll handle that in our inventory system. You'll see what I mean by that. Okay. Let's see. And a public string type. And then we need to make a public inventory object. And we're basically just going to do that. And this is a, what the fuck is it called? I don't know. This is like an instantiator or a creation of the object. So this is how we actually create the object right here. When we create a new inventory object, we pass in the name, description, game object associated with that, the amount, and the type. Yep, like that. Now let's see. How does that work? Type. Huh. I mean, we could create an enum in the inventory object, denoting what type it is too, as well. Have a static list of types, so we could do a amount string type. Well, okay. I'm just gonna leave it for like that now. So now we have access to all this. We're going to do also a public inventory object, and we're just gonna have a game object, geo here, and then we're gonna do this dot name equals to geo dot name. This dot description is equal to blank. This dot go is equal to go. This dot amount equals amount, or equals 1, and this dot type equals type, or equals to blank as well. So this is going to be used if we can also now pass in just a game object to create one of these objects. And we're just going to take the name like so, and then tie it to the game object. This is just going to be used for debugging purposes. We can create some other cool things here. We want a public void, or we can do a getter and setter. We can never have a negative amount. Actually, maybe we can, because that might be useful somehow. No, it won't. We'll do a right here. We'll do a private int amount. So, because we definitely want a public. No, we want. I want all these to be private, actually. So that just means that we cannot access them outside of actually in this script right here. We'll do a public void set amount. I'll do an int amount. No, we don't want this public. I don't want this. Stepping back. Okay, let's not focus on the actual objects themselves. We can always change these as needed. All right, inventory system. That, of course, is not there because of me moving it. All right, so now we have an inventory system that is a modded behavior script. What are we going to need for an inventory system? Well, first of all, we're going to need a public list of inventory objects. And we're going to call this the actual inventory. And we need to be using our generic collections that will give us the list, access to the list. Or maybe we do a public array of a fixed size, because we could have a fixed size of an inventory. Yeah, I think we're going to do a fixed array. So instead of this, we're going to do a public inventory object array, like so, inventory. And on start, let's say, how much stuff do we want to allow in our inventory? Equals new inventory. We want to instantiate this, so inventory equals new inventory object of, we'll do a public int inventory size, like so. So that will associate some memory to our inventory array. All right, so this is tied to all these. Okay, so now we need to actually get access to that. So if I save this right now and we go to our inventory system, we're not going to actually see anything, right? Yeah, we're not going to see this. So what if I serialize field this? I actually want to know, because this is not an actual Unity built-in object, so we shouldn't even actually see. We shouldn't see much popping right here. Okay. So weapon slot controller, these are the weapons. So we definitely need access to that. We're gonna need access to our hotbar. So a public, or we'll do a public game object hotbar, like so. And our hotbar is simply going to tie us to that weapon slot controller. So maybe it's time to rework that as well. We go to hotbar. It's called weapon slot controller. If we pull this bad boy up, I'm gonna actually close out of a bunch of these good things so we can focus mainly on that. So we have a weapon slot controller. We have a list of game objects, which is weapons. We're going to actually just do items like so. We're going to rename this hotbar controller. Oh, not good. like so. We're going to go here, and where's our weapon slot controller? We're going to rename this to hotbar controller. Can I rename that, please? Okay, no we can't. So we're gonna actually... Uh-oh. Hotbar controller, like so. So we go out here, scripts. Do we... Interesting. Okay, we're just gonna make a new script. And delete this old one. Behavior hotbar controller. Like so. Okay. Pull that up. Hotbar controller. Boop. Whoop. Like that. Delete that. Rename that to hotbar controller. And that's not named that anymore. It's quite weird. Hotbar controller, hotbar controller. All right, cool. So we have an index. We have access to our player controller, which we get from the object in the parent. And we're gonna call this items.count. Items. And the actual index, a list of items, update index not equal previous index, and we're going to always set items at 0 is equal to null. Always set that at the start, even if there's something in there. Because that's always going to be our none object, and that's going to be our fist. Okay, so what we're going to need is missing that component. We should go in here and remove that component, and then we're going to put our hotbar. Ah, yes, we've been using that. Is there a way to replace that all? Okay. Okay, I think we gotta go fix all these bad boys. Part of naming things is that everything gets a little confused. Okay, next thing up, come on. Okay, cool. And now, I'm gonna rename this to hotbar. Add hotbar controller. Items. Now we have a list of empties. 4, 5, 1 through 5. We'll add our splat in there and our knife right now because that's what's tied to it. So yeah. Basically, what we will do is... These have to be rotated correctly when they're instantiated. So we should save the prefabs at their right rotations like that. as the actual game objects. So if we go into here, if I go into Splat 1, weapons, knife 1, I can go into here. Actually, I can go knife 1, and I can apply all the overrides. Including the actual orientation of that. This bad boy is not actually a weapon, so we'll fix that. Like, we'll fix that right now. Actually, no, never mind. Delete. Create a... Oh, shit. Create a new empty game object called Splat. Splat. Add that like though, and like that. And now if we enable that, yep. Remove. Okay. We'll just leave it like that. Don't really. No need to fix what's broke, you know. Interesting. But yeah. So there's the hotbar, knife 1, splat 1, splat like so. Clear that bad boy. Save him like so. Overrides. What do we have? Apply all. Go back in here. Splat. Knife 1. It's okay for now. Okay. So now we have our hotbar denoted correctly. So if we go here, hotbar is that. Like so. Actually, let's go into player inventory system. Then we tie our hotbar like so. Okay, cool. So now we'll have weapon pulled up here too, because that's relevant. Inventory object, type object. Can we just do a var here? I wonder. No. Knife 1. So can we tag that a weapon? Maybe we could set this types as tags. So we could have a weapon, heal object, maybe a placeable object can be in the inventory. Ugh. Because we're definitely gonna need to tie, like, being able to buy placeable objects and having an associated hotbar for actual building objects. So that's going to be a fun when we have to dive into redoing the placeable controller. So we got inventory system, we got access to our hotbar, we have a array of inventory objects. Okay, cool. So we need a way to add an object to our inventory. So inventory system. So what we're gonna do is basically have a public void add item, and we're gonna do a game object item. Okay. We'll actually have two of these. Public void add item inventory. So. And then we'll do a Okay. For int I is equal to 0, I is less than inventory size, like so. I'm going to go through if inventory I does not equal null, pass. Going to continue. Else inventory oh wait, okay, so what we're gonna actually do else if no so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do an if inventory at I equals to the item, then we're basically going to do an inventory at I dot amount plus equals 1, else if inventory at I does not equal null, we're going to continue. And then finally, else that's if we don't already have the item in our inventory. Inventory at I is equal to item. And then we're going to return. Like so. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. That's going to be a copy and paste type of thing, except if we say .go equals item, item I dot amount plus equals 1, and if inventory .I equals new inventory object, and we're going to give that the go. Or call this item. Like so. Okay. Because if we pass in an inventory object, then the object's already going to be made. If not, then we're passing in a game object, and we're going to make a new inventory object with the item. Like so. Okay. Cool. So now we can add items into our inventory basically by going through the array linearly, which will always be the size of the inventory size, and we'll basically wait to find a available slot. It's not equal no, continue. And this returns, then this is going to debug .log inventory full to do handle overflow. So if we ever find a null slot to add, then that means inventory's full. That's going to be a to-do to handle the overflow. Okay. So let's do the same thing for removing items. Public void remove item. And another public void remove item. Okay. Okay, there we go. So removing items. So just gonna remove one item at a time. Or actually we'll do a int amount. Then then remove item int amount. So basically we're gonna go again for int I equal to 0. This is just a basic search algorithm, and we might actually come back and implement a different search algorithm for going, because we're just going through the list literally, but there's different ways of actually searching through a list. But this will work for now. Okay. I wonder if there's an array search. Okay. Like so. What we're gonna do is Unity array search. For each game object. Yeah, no, that's even using for each. Yeah, that's literally. No, we need to do a C#. Array contains. No, okay, don't need that. We don't actually need it at all. I'm just thinking like a fucking programmer, I guess. Okay, let's see. Back to here. Dot I equals 0, I is less than true side I plus plus. We're gonna do a, because we want to actually so then so we know if we're removing an item, that means it's in the list. So if inventory at I equals to item, all right. Then we're going to do that minus equals amount. We're going to do a math f dot max inventory at I dot amount minus amount and 0 because we don't want to go below 0. If inventory at I dot amount now is equal to 0 or less than equal to 0 because we are programmers, then inventory at I is equal to null. Or we'll, how about we destroy inventory at I cannot to a Unity object. Okay, yeah, so that's fine. Okay. So if we never find it, item not found. Copy, paste, and the only thing that's different is this. Okay, so now we have removing the we have adding objects if they're items or inventory objects, or if they're game objects, like so. Next up is the hotbar, selecting whatever So our hotbar, we're gonna have 5 objects, I think is a good amount. So what we can do is actually make the hotbar. So if we go to hotbar controller, we have our list of items. So what we're just gonna do is a public. So we'll have a private hotbar change. Private bool hotbar change. And that's going to equal to false. So on start, our hotbar dot. Okay, so we're gonna have a game object that, and we're gonna have a private hotbar controller, in which hotbar controller is equal to hotbar dot get component hotbar controller. What do you mean? Oh, hotbar controller. Like so. And then hotbar controller dot items is equal to get initial hotbar. Okay, like so. We're gonna make a new method, not like that. Get initial hotbar. We're returning a list, so we're gonna make a list of game objects. Game object list equals new list of game objects. We're gonna return that list, and then basically what we're gonna do is for int I equals 0, I is less than hotbar controller dot size. Or we'll do less than hotbar size, which that is going to be, and this is going to be 1, by the way. That's going to be 0. We'll do a public int hotbar size is equal to 5. Get hotbar size I++. Like so. And then we're gonna do a list dot add inventory at I dot go. Okay, so now we're getting each game object, return that. So we set the items to that. So on start, we want to have some default items in here. So maybe so this is where we'll incorporate a storage system. So incorporate a way of storing an inventory here. For now, I am just going to have a list of initial game objects for start. Okay. Oh, yes, and we're going to want to list dot add null, because we want that. So items at 0 equals null on start. Okay. Like so. Okay. So we're going to do a equals new inventory object. So we have static array, and then we're going to do a set the initial inventory, and we're going to create another method for that. So, and we're going to have a public list of game objects, and we're going to do a default inventory, default inventory list. And then right here, default inventory list. Actually, we don't need to set that there because it'll have stuff in it. So for each var geo and default inventory list, then we're going to do an inventory. We're going to basically add item geo, like so. And then we set the initial inventory. We're just using our built-in function, add item, for the game object and default inventory list, which that will point to here. So then it will go through each. So if inventory I .geo is equal to the game object item, then we'll increase the amount of it. New inventory item, and then actually I think we do actually handle that. It's equal to 1. Yeah, there we go. When we create when we add an item, we create a new one, and it automatically sets the amount to 1. But what we're gonna see is it's gonna be equal to null at 0. So then it's gonna be set to the first item that we say, and then the next one is not. It's gonna be equal to null, and then that's gonna be set to another item. Okay, like so. So now what we're gonna do basically is go back up to our player, default inventory list. We're going to add 2 game objects like so, and we're going to basically set the knife 1 and splat. We'll set splat. Now I'll set knife 1 and then the splat like so. And actually, we're going to go ahead, and if I make sure the weapons are there, we're going to delete these bad boys. Shit, never mind. Okay, now we gotta actually think of instantiating them in the game world. So these should be saved if we go down here. Correct orientation. And this should be correct orientation. Yes, 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 yes. Splat. Okay, yeah, that was gonna be a little weird. So now if we enable bad boy, he'll be there. Okay, so those are set to the correct. So, basically, we're going to want to add object, and we're also going to need to instantiate, so not add item that, we're going to set initial inventory, get initial hotbar. We're going to instantiate game object, and okay, so var geo is equal to instantiate var made object is equal to instantiating the get game object. Made object transform dot parent is going to be equal to our hotbar dot transform. Okay, then we're gonna add item the made object like so. So now we're instantiating in our game world. We're setting the transform parent equal to the hotbar. This is read only parent of the transform. And then going to set made object.transform.position is equal to hotbar.transform.position. And then the made object parent equals that. Okay. So we add item to the initial hotbar. Okay. And we're also going to do a made object.enable that game object.set active is equal to false. Like so. Okay. So this is literally on startup. This would be during a loading screen. So we might actually see some finicky things go on here, but let's see how this works. Okay. Okay, so we got clone. Our hotbar has. So we're not actually changing. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay. So actually we have a non-game object, so what we're gonna actually do is even that's an actual weapon. Let's open the prefab. Create a non-object like so. Go here. Add that. So we're gonna got none. Splat. Knife splat. Like so. So if we go back here, equals 0. We're actually gonna not add null. And in our hotbar controller, save that. So inventory I to add to the list. Let me set that. And then the first object should always be the non-object. And then that could just be like her fist. And then we can make it so you can equip and de-equip the fist, I guess. No, we don't want that. So maybe our inventory at I don't know. Okay, let's see what happens here. So we should see a none, knife, and splat. Okay, so that's not working. So we never get instantiate. The variable default inventory list of inventory has not been assigned. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would break. So we got splat right there. We need to make sure that has something in it. Okay, so we have none. Should be enabled. My scroll wheel's not doing anything. Okay. So index is out of range. We need to have in here our inventory system. List dot at 0 dot set active equals true. So that will enable our first one. Player controller, we have our scrolling right here. Slot controller dot items dot count. Okay. We should have. So none's not getting enabled, which is weird. Inventory system, so we hotbar, control hotbar controller, which is that. Is weapon equipped set active equals I equals this current index. So that should be setting active. So on start player controller, we're gonna do a debug dot log items dot count. So that should be getting set. 0. So it's saying that there's 0. Items list is empty. Seeing them right here though. So we're instantiating that. Huh. Okay, see if that does anything. Okay, that should do something. See how we broken the game. This is just breaking it to make it a little bit better, you know? Okay, right here. So the list is still 0? Why is it not setting? Items is never made, maybe? Should be setting in here though. It's a new list of game objects, and then we set it up here. Let's do names equal to a new list of game objects then. But go on awake too. This starts a call in the first frame. Awake's called when the script is initialized. So then we have items, and then we're setting it. Still 0. Alright, we're going to ask ChatGPT what's wrong with this. Nice debugging tool. I need help debugging. I have a hotbar controller and a inventory system. Tell me what could be wrong. I do not care about giving it this code. Crap. So maybe what I'm seeing here is that we set them all active because we need to actually be able to add them, of course. So. Maybe these do need to be enabled to be actually added. Because if they're disabled, then it'd be a problem. I'm expecting to see... So knife is disabled, splat is not. Wonder why splat? Oh, splat. This is disabled. Okay. So they did disable this. Yeah, I'm not gonna do any damage to these guys, am I? What the fuck is wrong? So what is exactly happening? I'm getting... Let's see. The fuck do you mean login, dude? Okay. let's go back to debugging this ourselves. Items equals new list of game objects. Then the only thing I can think of is making an array of game objects. Going to have a public game object array items equals new game object of size 5. Right? So we don't want this. We don't want a list. We want a. We're gonna return in a game object of 5, a game object array. And then we're gonna do a var r is equal to not inventory size of hotbar size, which is 5, correct? And then so for int I is equal to 0 is less than that dot length, not that length. Then hotbar size I plus plus, and then we're gonna do ar at I is equal to inventory at I dot geo. If inventory I does not equal null, return R. We're gonna do this because now I don't want to go through. Why does it do that? Okay. It's gonna break fucking everything. God, this is starting to really get on my nerves. I'm gonna reset this. Like so. We're gonna name this the items. That's good and all. Where's my public list of items? Huh? Alright, 1 second. Alright, I am back. Sorry, I had to take that phone call. What the fuck, dude? All compiler errors need to be fixed. Dude, but it does. Okay. Nice little crash. Yep, because we don't have anything right here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and the splat won't enable because weapons splat. That there. Hotbar. Splat. Okay. And we could have this as default weapons, I guess. Alright, so that's back to normal. Instead of, I guess, setting the initial inventory, let's delete this. And delete this. We'll do a get initial inventory, like so. And then we'll do a for each var item in hotbar controller dot items. We'll do a add item, like so. So we'll add that to our inventory. This obviously needs to go after. That could have been the fucking problem. I'm not even gonna check. I'm not going to check. Okay, so now our inventory should get 3 items, including that none, which none is a weapon, technically. So let's get out of here. Splat. Let's see, overrides. Super. Okay. Ugh. Okay, we got our weapons. We didn't get any errors there. It's being enabled. Okay, cool. There's that. So now we have an initial inventory where let's do a debug.log inventory .length maybe. I would like to see that. That was interesting. What the hell happened to our player? Oh, look at that. I know exactly what happened there. We needed our cursor object because we reverted the player, which that doesn't have access to the cursor object. That would be definitely a big problem. Okay, cool. Now it's working. Okay, back to this inventory system. Did I even check the debug? 0. Inventory full, inventory full. Inventory equals new object of inventory size. Oh, you know. Oh my god, I never made an actual number of slots you're allowed to have in the You know, that could have done it. That could have done everything. Son of a bitch. Alright, so now we have a list of items. Let's actually just... Let's retry that, because that would make so much sense if our inventory array could not actually be created of a size 0. Because that would do it. Okay, now we're just going to jump back into the prefab. I am really testing myself right now. Alright, here. Delete all these. We do have those right here anyway, so it's okay. Then get initial inventory. What we're gonna do is go back to doing the default inventory. We're gonna do a public list of game objects, default inventory list, like so. And that's going to be accessible. Has to be full. Hotbar. So for each default for each var obj and default inventory list, we're going to var made obj is equal to default instantiate obj made obj dot transform dot position is equal to a hotbar transform dot position made obj dot parent transform dot parent is equal to hotbar dot transform. Then we're going to disable the made obj dot set active false, and we're going to we need a new list here. New list of game objects equals list dot add game objects like so. What's wrong with the list? Oh. Not a new one. List dot add made obj. And then we're just gonna simply set our hotbar controller dot add hotbar controller is equal to list. So default inventory list, we also need to, in this default inventory list, dot items. We're going to add item obj like so, and that should now do it. Because it would make a lot more sense if, of course, the weapon was never... We had no weapons that ever existed because we were instantiating the objects, but the inventory was not able to obtain it. That was like a 30-40 minute headache for... What was it? No reason, really. It's the fun part. Okay, now let's hit play. Mm-hmm. So then that never happens now? Oh, you know why? Because I'm an idiot again. Go here, default inventory list. We got 3 right now. None needs to be first. Knife. Splat. Now that should instantiate it. Of course, this will be handled during the loading screen, so that index out of range when we first attack. Okay, so we should see. Okay, now there's no excuse for them not be popping up. Okay. Why are you not being instantiated now? Inventory full again. Why is it? So add item. So for each, and the I is less than or equal to inventory size, which that should be 20. Inventory size set fucking 0 here, of course. Of course. If anyone's out there watching, this kind of sucks. I'm sorry. Okay. Now we have an array of 20. So we... So that should be none. So that means then we do get to this instantiate point. So we got none. So it does get added to the inventory, but it never gets instantiated. Quite unfortunate. Let's get out of here. Hotbar. these get instantiated at? So they do get instantiated. The fuck's the meshes? Fuck's the meshes? Ah. That'll do it when they're that small. Okay. We set this position and this parent to the hotbar. So now we might need to go in here and fix these bad boys scaling wise. That's fine. Oh boy. Now Mr. Knife is very small. Now Mr. Knife is very big. Okay, well that's working though. We are getting the objects again. Now it's just having to do with actual scale and the positioning we want, because we're setting the position. Okay, let's go in here and we're going to want to drag these guys in here like so. None does not matter right now. Okay, so let's enable this guy, and we're gonna put, can't move your position for some reason. Yeah, you're all the way out here. Okay, cool. Okay, I kind of feel like I know what I need to do here. Go here, prefabs, player. Okay, now we're in here. We're going to set your default position to 0, 0, 0. Go over here. So everything else should be 0, 0, 0. Hotbar 0, 0, 0. Cool. So now what we're going to do is we're setting its transform.position. Like so. So now we want to grab. Maybe we don't need to set its transform.position, since we're setting its as a parent, its parent object. So maybe we drag under our hotbar, and we're going to enable you. You are like so. So 0.01. That's so big. I think it was like 0.07 is what I arrived at. Nope. Okay, yeah, so that's good. Like so. Now let's get the knife in there. Knife is a little big. Gonna 2.2. Let's go down to its mesh. 0.01. 0.01. I think this is actually a 0.1. Oh, that's too small. Too big. And that looks okay to me. And I think in here, we don't actually need to set this. It's okay. Like so. And now, should be a-okay. That's what I'm thinking. So if we set the transformed parent to that position, it will instantiate the object as it should be, as if it was in the hand of that. Right? Hopefully. Okay, no it doesn't. Okay. Now let's see if I do 0, 0, 0. Where did you go? Now you're in the hand. One, one, one. So when it's relative to the transform, interesting. Okay, I'm kind of getting it now. Basically what's happening is it's getting really small because we're instantiating it as it normally is, but not with respect to the size of the parent. So instantiate, comma. Let's ask Mr. Chat this question because it's pretty simple. when instantiating an object, is it possible to instantiate it as a child of the object? The transform of the prefab object is adjusted to be a child of said object, and not a standalone object in the environment. Okay. Oh, okay. Transform that set parent. Overloaded instantiation method. Interesting. That's quite interesting. So let's try doing the set parent. We'll do a hotbar dot transform, comma, false. See if that works. See, I could have dove into the documentation for transforms right there and then spent a good bit of time looking for that. But there we go. Now it's working. We got them loading in from our inventory system. The knife's a little bit bigger now, but whatever. It's a chef's knife. It's meant for chopping stuff, you know? Totally not gigantic saber. Alright, so now that's implemented. That took us way too long. Holy crap. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. We have a initial inventory getting loaded in. So now we can directly control that hotbar controller, and we also know how, because we're obviously going to be changing the hotbar, so we're going to be wanting to instantiate more objects. We'll remove said object in the hotbar. So we could even change this to made object. Like so. Because I will tie it to whatever. Right? No. Actually, no. Definitely don't want to do that. Why is that? Because we're going to eventually be destroying these made objects when we're changing out slots. So that would cause some null reference pointers in our memory, which is never fun. Okay. So we can add items, remove items from our static size inventory, which we'll be able to increase by probably static size amounts, maybe by 5 or by 10. I don't know if we want to. We'll probably never need a bigger inventory than 20. So we're going to keep consumables. We're going to keep placeable objects. We're going to keep our weapons in there. Our currency is currently tied to our player controller, but maybe we can have some currency tied to our inventory system as well. I'm going to write out at high level what we need. We need, actually, kind of have everything we need right now. To where we have it renamed the hotbar controller. We reset that up. And basically what we're gonna do is we just set these are active. Next up, we started because we wanted to go here, and let's see. So we need to actually set this scale to 1, 1, 1, and what we're going to do is prefabs. We're going to go instead of weapons, we're going to go to items. We're going to save this as a prefab, delete this from our game scene. Go into player. Or go into our player prefab, like so. Because we're going to use the same methodology for instantiating items into the world. All right, so here we go. Soda, we're going to put that as a child of the hotbar. Put that 0, 0, 0. We're going to want this to be the size of probably 0.1, 0.01, 0.01. Actually, even less than. That's crazy. 0.7. Probably actually the same. See? Nope. See? We could do a little bit better than that. See, even that's too big. Let's try 1.5. And that looks just right. So now, I'm gonna move that over and up like so. And we're going to rotate our object accordingly. Like so. And we don't actually have an animation, I think, for healing yet. But we're going to override and we're going to apply that as a transform. Now we have our soda bottle. So, doesn't need a collider at all. We're just going to basically be using this. This will be tied to an inventory item. And every time we use it, basically our heal item, we're going to trigger it to subtract 1 from the amount. Basically the game object, we're going to, if remove item, pass in. So for instance, in our inventory system, we go here to remove items. Item amount will pass in the game object item if is equal to that item, so is equal to the same prefab basically. Then there, and if amount is equal to 0, that will destroy the game object in the world in our inventory, and there we go. But yeah, heal item is up next. Basically, all we're gonna do is on attack, basically come in here. We have building mode, and then it's attacking. Then we set trigger fire, else if building mode. So we basically need to have is weapon. We need to get is weapon equipped. And if not weapon is equipped, or we can start doing stuff. Or another thing I'm thinking of is repurposing this by using a Unity event. So we just actually evoke. So we're invoking this function, but then we can set up a Unity action that invokes it to the other scripts and anything based on, I guess. I don't know. There's a lot of ways we could do this. Probably we'll just make it another monolithic code because why not? It's fine. All right, I think I'm going to sign off for today. It's been a good stream. Got some stuff done. Started fleshing out some more systems. Inventory systems up next. Healing objects because, as you can see, like I lose a good bit of health from fighting the zombies, so we'll need a good bit of healing items for the players. Right now, I can think of a soda. Won't have any animations basically to use. Or actually, let me check real quick if we actually do have that. We have clapping, death, idle, jump, punch, run, drink, sitting, standing, slash, and walk. So we don't have like a drink animation or like an eating animation or anything. Okay, it's fine. Our man is okay. You're gonna stay okay for a while. Yeah. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here. Hope you guys enjoyed. If anybody's watching, appreciate it. And as always, just remember the good is out there. It's just one step away. Take care, guys.